Hi, it's Sue here from Inspired Messages Monday with your April edition, and it's Easter, so happy Easter to you. And I hope you're enjoying some nice weather and hopefully being out in the garden and enjoying the spring flowers, which I absolutely love. I've got my daffodils behind me, which I always love flowers, particularly daffodils and tulips. So short season, so I make the most of it. Anyway, so what's happening? So, well, Easter is it's significant that it's Easter because it rules, springtime. It's about rebirth, renewal, and that kind of ties into Aries. We're in Aries at the moment, and that's like the beginning of the astrological year. It marks the start of spring. So it's all about everything being new, new things coming up, new shoots coming up in the garden. So new projects. If you're in Aries, then you need new projects around, to be involved with. You can't cope with being bored. So Aries is it's an initiating sign. So it wants always to start something. So we're going to have a new moon also in Aries on the 12th, and that's kind of also the first new moon that we've had in Aries as well, and that kind of follows the spring equinox of March, which was indicating spring as well. So everything is bringing this new start, this new energy, but this is no ordinary new moon, because not only do we have the sun and moon, what we always have at a new moon, but we've got Mercury and Venus are there as well, and Chiron, the planet of healing, and Ceres, which is the goddess of food and grain, and then we've got Eris, which actually is the sister of Mars. So Mars was the god of war, it rules Aries, and Eris is very feisty. She's a bit like Mars, but she's an activist, she's very fiery, she won't be controlled, and she's going to change everything, and even if she thinks she's going to lose, she will still go for it. So she's a warrior, really, a warrior with a wild feminine energy, and she'll fight for truth and justice at all costs. And not surprisingly, that the justice card came up. And I will say that some people might be thinking, why is it always the major arcana? Well, I use the major arcana, and I do a 14 card spread. And so, well, 13 really, 13 stroke 14. And so, this is only some of the cards that came up that I feel are relevant to what's going on, but this card did come up, and so it's, as I say, it's really not surprising that Eris wants justice, and then we have this justice card, which is about getting wrongs righted and getting justice for anything that like corruption, which I think there's a lot of at the moment. So this Eris energy is also squaring Pluto, and that's about taking down the structures of corruption and power, because it's a square and it is transformation, and Pluto is about getting rid of things that are no longer working. So stepping back to the 9th, because that's the 12th, we're going to have Mars, which again is the ruler of Aries, squaring Neptune, and that Mars actually is in Gemini, and so Gemini is to do with communication. It's also to do with the media. So are we going to see some kind of media revelations? I don't know, but as a positive and on a personal level, you could use that energy to help others less fortunate than you, or people that somebody even needs somebody to listen to. You could be there for them. Okay, now getting back to the new moon on the 12th, don't forget to do your new moon wishes, and you can do that by writing a list of what you want in the next 28 days, your goals, and you sit in the moonlight, meditate on it, and put some nice music on and put it out into the ether, as it were. Okay, so we also have Jupiter in Aquarius. So Jupiter is about expansion, and Aquarius is about the people, really. It's about community. It's about humanitarian projects. Okay, so I think there are going to be a lot more humanitarian projects going on, and in fact I know that to be true. Also people connecting in groups, and I've mentioned this before. So we had a worldwide kind of protest, which was all, as I say, everywhere, and particularly in London we had nearly 1 million people, and you can actually go and see that on Rupley if you have a look on YouTube, and I will be putting a link in my newsletter. So if you take my newsletter, you can have a look at the people that were there, and how they were saying enough is enough. We need to go back to normal. We're losing our livelihoods. We need to kind of get back to I'm not saying normal, because it'll never go back to normal, not after this, but we need to be sovereign and using our sovereign rights of being able to freely assemble and get together with people. So that was around the world on the 20th, and we've also got Stand in the Park, which is every Sunday from 10 till 11, and again that is around the world in lots of different towns and cities across the world, and that was started by a guy in Australia. And now has gone worldwide. So you might find one near you. There is a website called Stand in the Park, so you can go and find out and maybe join them if you feel you'd like to. Now, the cards that came up were the Sun and the Magician, and the Magician and the Sun are both about decisive action, particularly the Magician. It is the first card. It's like Aries, the first card, but it's also symbolic of the Sun in some respects as well. He has all his tools to get the job done, and that means that we have all the tools to get the job done. So, but basically, because we've got this Magician, it's decisive action, and the Sun is breaking of patterns, and light at the end of the tunnel, the light breaking through the clouds, all that kind of thing is very much to do with those two cards. So I think that's quite nice. They're positive, I think, positive cards, so we need a bit of positivity. And so on the 17th of April, Mars is going to trine Jupiter. So here we go, we've got the Mars again, and it's trining Jupiter. So this connects to the Pope, and the Pope is to do with spiritual authority. And then also what came up was the Emperor, which is to do with worldly authority. And basically this Mars in Gemini really likes to communicate, and really links to the media and how propaganda has been used to control the masses. So these two cards are very important, and that one being the spiritual authority and that one being the worldly authority, and we need that so that we can get back to our sovereignty, to using our inalienable rights of freedom of assembly, freedom to breathe, freedom to communicate, with our neighbours, because basically we're social beings. Okay, so the Lovers came up, and the Lovers is not always about relationships. It could be to do with relationships. Maybe you're having a struggle. Maybe you're on one side and your significant other is on the other side and believes something else. So there's a bit of a split going on. That could be because there's somebody standing in between these two people. So it could be that. But also this card is very often known as you have to make a decision. There's a fork in the road. So which fork are you taking, really? There's a choice to be made. And maybe you need to say or ask, am I working towards the new earth, or am I staying in the old earth? And there'll be many people that will stay in the old earth because it's easier, because actually you have to do something to move forward. You know, lots of people find it difficult, they just rather stay where they are. So I think this is about the decision that lots of people are having to make, and it's actually a soul decision, because it came up in the soul area of my spread. So this is about everybody. This is about everybody thinking about what they are going to do as we get closer to the decisions that we have to make towards being free as a sovereign being. Okay, so what else? So the full moon, we have the full moon in Scorpio. Also, that's ruled by Mars. That's the old ruler. And so this is about intense feelings, and it's really, it will be time to let go of anything that no longer serves you, no longer is right for you, a time of transformation and letting go. And again, you can write a list of the things that you don't want in your life anymore, and you can sit in the moonlight and meditate on it. And I think that can be very powerful. So I think we mustn't forget really the Saturn square Uranus, which is in the background all this year, and it will come back in June and again in December, and it's always in the background. And so Saturn is about structure and stability and the things that we rely on, like the councils and the governments and maybe the church and things like that. And Uranus is about breaking it all down to have something new and exciting. Structures are creaking and cracking under the strain, and something has to give. And so that is going to be happening most of this year. Well, it's there, it's in the background, as I say. Now we do have this Judgment card, and this for me was always about waking people up, but I think it was right in the centre of the spread, and I think it's indicating that lots of people are waking up. That's why we had so many people in London. And you can see the angel is blowing his bugle, and that's what's been happening. People have been blowing their bugles to wake these people up from their complacency. And again, this is all part of, you know, are you awake? Which path are you taking? And all those people that actually assembled around the world and in London are awake. And I think that's what this card actually means. So the last card I've got is the Wheel of Fortune, and I always think this is an interesting card. I think on a global level, it is about everybody doing their part, you know, everybody doing their bit to just turn that wheel, because this card is about evolution. and that's what's actually happening. We are in a time of evolution. We are in a time of moving from one way of living to a new way of living. And so this, I think this is a really interesting card to come last. And really it's you know, it's an ending of a cycle, really, and events are changing rapidly. If you are awake and you are watching, like I am, you can see that these changes are happening. I think on a personal level, if you can do something, because the energy will help. So getting out into nature, growing your own food, assembling with other people, we stand in the park, understanding your sovereign rights, meditating even, putting good thoughts and helping people with good deeds, all that kind of thing will help this wheel turn. So I think, you know, that is a great card to finish on. Okay, so I haven't changed the affirmation because you know, I think it's so important that we think about our sovereign rights. So hand on heart every morning till we come back is I am a sovereign being and a sovereign soul, standing in my own truth of what is right and just. I'll say it again, I am a sovereign being and a sovereign soul, standing in my own truth of what is right and just. So have a great April, and if you need me, please get in touch. I always say that, and some people do. Please sign up for my newsletter because it does have different things in it, and share with other people. Just please share either the newsletter or this video with other people. And I do have my astrology posts on Astrology Sue Fletcher on Facebook as well. And then there's my website, which is the 3Ws astrologysue.com. And don't forget my courses. If you want to learn astrology, that you can access that through my website. Or if you want to know about Lilith, I have a short course on that too, also accessed through the website. So have a lovely Easter, the rest of Easter, and I will see you in a month's time. And in the meantime, have a great month. Bye for now. Bye. Bye-bye.